Please keep an eye on them.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
That's good. I've always wanted to be friends with a pilot.
Uncle Paul, what's your job?
I help people understand things.
Like a teacher?
Almost. I help explain to mummies and daddies what they can do with their money. I help people build stuff. And I'm always there when they are happy and when they are sad. I help people grow all kinds of things.
You're a farmer!
Not quite. I help people keep and grow their money so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
You're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Pilot.
ARM. Invested in your tomorrow.
Please keep an eye on them.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
That's good. I've always wanted to be friends with a pilot.
Uncle Paul, what's your job?
I help people understand things.
Like a teacher?
Almost. I help explain to mummies and daddies what they can do with their money. I help people build stuff. And I'm always there when they are happy and when they are sad. I help people grow all kinds of things.
You're a farmer!
Not quite. I help people keep and grow their money so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
You're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Pilot.
ARM. Invested in your tomorrow.
Please keep an eye on them.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
That's good. I've always wanted to be friends with a pilot.
Uncle Paul, what's your job?
I help people understand things.
Like a teacher?
Almost. I help explain to mummies and daddies what they can do with their money. I help people build stuff. And I'm always there when they are happy and when they are sad. I help people grow all kinds of things.
You're a farmer!
Not quite. I help people keep and grow their money so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
You're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Pilot.
ARM. Invested in your tomorrow.
Please keep an eye on them.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
That's good. I've always wanted to be friends with a pilot.
Uncle Paul, what's your job?
I help people understand things.
Like a teacher?
Almost. I help explain to mummies and daddies what they can do with their money. I help people build stuff. And I'm always there when they are happy and when they are sad. I help people grow all kinds of things.
You're a farmer!
Not quite. I help people keep and grow their money so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
You're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Pilot.
ARM. Invested in your tomorrow.
Please keep an eye on them.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
That's good. I've always wanted to be friends with a pilot.
Uncle Paul, what's your job?
I help people understand things.
Like a teacher?
Almost. I help explain to mummies and daddies what they can do with their money. I help people build stuff. And I'm always there when they are happy and when they are sad. I help people grow all kinds of things.
You're a farmer!
Not quite. I help people keep and grow their money so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
You're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Pilot.
ARM. Invested in your tomorrow.
Please keep an eye on them.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
That's good. I've always wanted to be friends with a pilot.
Uncle Paul, what's your job?
I help people understand things.
Like a teacher?
Almost. I help explain to mummies and daddies what they can do with their money. I help people build stuff. And I'm always there when they are happy and when they are sad. I help people grow all kinds of things.
You're a farmer!
Not quite. I help people keep and grow their money so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
You're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Pilot.
ARM. Invested in your tomorrow.
Please keep an eye on them.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
That's good. I've always wanted to be friends with a pilot.
Uncle Paul, what's your job?
I help people understand things.
Like a teacher?
Almost. I help explain to mummies and daddies what they can do with their money. I help people build stuff. And I'm always there when they are happy and when they are sad. I help people grow all kinds of things.
You're a farmer!
Not quite. I help people keep and grow their money so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
You're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Pilot.
ARM. Invested in your tomorrow.
Please keep an eye on them.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
That's good. I've always wanted to be friends with a pilot.
Uncle Paul, what's your job?
I help people understand things.
Like a teacher?
Almost. I help explain to mummies and daddies what they can do with their money. I help people build stuff. And I'm always there when they are happy and when they are sad. I help people grow all kinds of things.
You're a farmer!
Not quite. I help people keep and grow their money so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
You're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Pilot.
ARM. Invested in your tomorrow.
Please keep an eye on them.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
That's good. I've always wanted to be friends with a pilot.
Uncle Paul, what's your job?
I help people understand things.
Like a teacher?
Almost. I help explain to mummies and daddies what they can do with their money. I help people build stuff. And I'm always there when they are happy and when they are sad. I help people grow all kinds of things.
You're a farmer!
Not quite. I help people keep and grow their money so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
You're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Pilot.
ARM. Invested in your tomorrow.
Please keep an eye on them.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
That's good. I've always wanted to be friends with a pilot.
Uncle Paul, what's your job?
I help people understand things.
Like a teacher?
Almost. I help explain to mummies and daddies what they can do with their money. I help people build stuff. And I'm always there when they are happy and when they are sad. I help people grow all kinds of things.
You're a farmer!
Not quite. I help people keep and grow their money so later they come back when it's bigger for themselves.
You're a magician!
Just like a pilot, I help people move from where they are to where they want to be.
Thank you, Uncle Paul.
Pilot.
ARM. Invested in your tomorrow.
Please keep an eye on Jane.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I grow up.
Here, pardon me, to the ARM Labs Lagos Textiles Accelerator Fireside Chat. It promises to be very interesting, especially for early and pre-seed startups. Again, I want to thank those of you who are here physically for braving the traffic. Some of us are blessed, some of us have never experienced traffic. I'll tell you a little bit about that later. But like I said, it promises to be very interesting. And the whole conversation is around the importance of the partnerships between ARM and Techstars, how it plans to support growth for pre-seed and early stage startups. The conversation is going to happen between two powerhouses in fintech and the financial sector. They are powerhouses, and they are women. They're high-fiving each other right now as we speak, and rightly so. So you're not really here to see me. My name is Ethan, but I'm here to moderate the proceedings for the day. But we will get things moving along very quickly. And to kick that off, I would like to welcome the Deputy CEO for ARM Holding Company, Sadiq Mohammed, to give us the welcome address. Please put your hands together for Sadiq Mohammed.
Good morning, everyone. You're welcome once again to this fireside chat with two CEOs. And as Ethan said, both of them are women, which means they've taken over and we need to revisit the Beijing conference because we're being marginalized at this point in time. From the audience, I understand, we have different people from all walks of life in terms of alumni from the ARM program, alumni from Techstars, some founders also linked to the whole tech startup space, YouTube, and so on and so forth. What I will try to do in maybe 2-3 minutes is just to provide some macroeconomic context to what is happening today. But I'll leave the details to Jumoke and Mile to take, as well as maybe Ina, who provide more details for this program. We're living in interesting times, globally and also in the continent. I'll try to use Nigeria as a proxy for Africa because, most things are similar. In any case, we tend to say Nigeria is 65% of West Africa at least. So if you're looking at anything, Nigeria represents West Africa and potentially the continent itself. This space of startups and fintechs and so on represents an increasing contributor to GDP in Nigeria and by proxy to the African continent. It also may be the fastest growing sector of the economy in Nigeria and by implication also the continent. And at the same time, it provides maybe the fastest growing employment opportunities in the continent. And by so doing, I think it's very, very important, particularly given what is happening today with the brain drain, people going to Canada, UK, Ireland. And I was telling someone yesterday that it has even become wholesale, where institutions from outside are coming here to recruit for 1 week. And the condition is that you must relocate, even from the institution's side. And that's just a sweetener for most of the young people wanting to explore opportunities. The fact that it comes with the package of relocating out of Nigeria. So it's this kind of program serves to be one of the only escapes from having this brain drain, or at least a deterrent in the sense that there are opportunities here for growth, for making an impact and so on, compared to going out there. as they say, how fat can a fat man grow? And if you compare the developed world compared to emerging markets, so there's a lot more to do here, a lot more to achieve, because almost everything in Nigeria and in the continent is greenfield, not brownfields. So there's opportunity for that, and also the impact side. To cap it, there's also an underlying trend happening, which is the Africa continental free trade, which hopefully over time would encourage the movement of goods, services, capital, and eventually people freely without visas and restrictions and so on. This type of collaboration between ARM and Techstars is one of the catalysts that would accelerate that Africa continental free trade movement in terms of goods and services, people and money moving around much more freely and also faster. I think I'll close with where we are, to situate where we are today, is fortuitous that there are certain things that are happening, and whoever is coming into this area today is coming in at the right time. One, using the Nigerian example, there's an election next year, which hopefully provides a background or bedrock for better things to come. Secondly, also there's some adjustment in the capital market. You call it a correction of sorts in the startup industry, which means also you're possibly going in at the lower ground floor for a much uplift expected going forward. So I think it's fortuitous that we're having this at this particular time, and is bound to take off and lead into much bigger things. So for everyone on this at this event today, whether virtually or physically, there's always something to walk away with. There's also something to look forward to in terms of bigger things. But for the details, I will allow my colleague Ina to come and give you all the details, and then you also have an opportunity to ask all your questions to Jumoke and Mile. Thank you, everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Sadiq. Wholesale, you're right. It's like a condition where you're grooming them basically to say export out of the country because we know you're talented and your talents are more suited outside the country. And that's what sessions like this hope to change. At least hopefully when we ask these questions of the powerhouses we have in the house, not at the next Geneva Convention, but today we will get the answers required. So a bit of housekeeping. I know you have some questions. Try and write them down or just keep them safe. There's to bring. I would like to welcome the Group Director for Digital Transformation, Ina Alogo, to bring. I would like to welcome the Group Director for Digital Transformation, Ina Alogo, for this session. Please put your hands together for them.
All right, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining from, if you're joining virtually, and good morning to everybody in the room. My name is Ina once again, and I'm here to tell you about the ARM Labs Lagos Techstars Accelerator. And of course, as you see as a theme here, we're building the next set of unicorns out of Africa. And for those of you who don't know what the term unicorn means in the startup world or in the tech ecosystem, it refers to companies whose valuation exceeds $1 billion. To evolve their business who are building more efficient solutions to solve existing problems. And essentially what I'm saying is for those of you who are in this room, startups who are building one form of using technology to solve solutions, to solve problems that exist, you are the future. And at ARM, we do not only embrace this change, we actually have a deliberate strategy to support it. And that was what led us to another powerhouse called Techstars, who incidentally is on a journey to support startups all around the world. And we have some previous programs that we had launched locally here to achieve that dream. So when you hear ARM saying investing in your tomorrow, this is precisely what we're doing. So we've had a couple of programs prior to the partnership with Techstars. We had the Deji Ali ARM Young Talent Awards, usually focused on companies who are building solutions to solve, to drive impact to the SDG goals. We also have the ARM Young Talent program that is mainly for undergrads and is an internship program to prepare undergraduates for the world outside school. And then in 2018, we launched a program called the ARM Labs Accelerator, but we eventually rebranded it to the ARM Labs Innovation Program. And that's simply because the program is incubating startups to prepare them for acceleration. And when we then had a conversation with Techstars and we saw that there was alignment with strategies, we came up with this program that I'll give you details about, and I'll tell you why you must participate. Not should, you actually must, otherwise you'll be missing out on an opportunity to become the next unicorn out of Africa. So let me give you a profile of both companies, and I'll tell you what the benefits of the program would be in a second. So you've got Techstars, who is a global accelerator company. They've run 50 of these programs from 35 cities in 14 countries all around the world. And thankfully, we're launching the very first one here in Lagos. Techstars so far has a portfolio of about 3,000 companies who have passed through the various programs all around the world. They've invested about $21.3 billion so far. And interestingly, what you find is that startups that pass through the Techstars program usually raise an average of about $1 million. So it's not just being part of the program that is important. It's what happens after and the benefits that come along with having been an alumni of a Techstars program. ARM, on the other hand, is one of the largest, if not the largest, and most reputable non-bank financial services provider, where ARM has a AA Gusto rating, and they have about 1.7 billion naira in terms of funds under management. Now, if you're joining, or if you're one of the lucky 12, because each cohort in the Techstars Lagos, the ARM Labs Lagos Techstars Accelerator would have 12 startups in each cohort. If you make it into the cohort, in each of the cohorts, you stand to get $120,000 in investment, $20,000 in investment in common equity, and $100,000 in convertible notes. You also have access to over 7,000 mentors in the Techstars network, and about 20,000 investors in the Techstars network as well. And you then have ARM that is a partner that can help you with some of the problems and the general challenges that startups usually face locally here. So it's not just investments that you get, it's access to a network and access to a company that can give you, immediate access to an existing customer base, help you with any regulatory challenges that you may have. So essentially what I'm saying is why you must join the program is not just to get equity investments, it's all of the other things that you need to grow as a startup. So I'll leave it there, and I'm hoping I've convinced you that the program in itself is unique and unlike any other that you would find on the continent. And of course, gives you the opportunity to join the next set of unicorns. So thank you all for listening, and I'll pass you back now to Ethan.
Thank you very much, Anna. Please put your hands together for Anna. So, it's not really hard what he's trying to do to convince you. So let me summarize. It's $120,000. The money, the capital required if you're a pre-seed early stage startup, right? And then you have the mentors who have been through it all, understand the pitfalls, the regulations, and are working you through how to use that $120,000. Step 2. Step 3, you have people who are willing to invest in your idea, which you were given $120,000 for, and shown how to use. This is like having an exam and having the answers, you know, and then being paid to pass, you know. So I think it's like nothing else. And that's the amazing thing about accelerators. It's what drives innovation, it's what drives growth the world around. And bringing this impact to this part of the world is totally required. So as I said earlier, this conversation is going to be between two powerhouses, and they have resumes from here to New York. So I've spent the last month editing their resumes to a 30-second intro. It was hard work. I think I earned my salary for the next 6 months just editing it down. But it's not about, again, it's not about the accolades of everything they've done. They have nothing to prove. It's about what they're willing to do for us as a community. And by us, I mean the startups, the community at large that will benefit from whatever that comes out of this accelerator program, and the continent. So, if you'll allow me, welcome our speakers. Our first panelist has over 2 decades of experience as an astute professional in the financial sector, and has devoted her expertise to growing ARM into Nigeria's largest non-bank asset management firm with over 1.7 trillion naira in funds under management. Under her leadership, ARM has evolved into the force that it is, driving innovation and investing in our collective tomorrows to realize ambitions. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome the CEO of ARM, Jumoke Ogundere. Welcome, Jumoke.
Thank you.
I'll read your full CV later.
Very
Like at the end, like the credits in the movie. It's going to take a while to roll. Okay, next powerhouse. See how long I've been scrolling, trying to get to the edit. Our second speaker has over 15 years of experience as a leading technology executive and entrepreneur. She has impacted a variety of sectors, which include real estate, hospitality, and tech, just to mention a few. She's currently making giant strides as CEO of Techstars, one of the largest accelerator companies in the world, with investments in over 3,000 companies with a combined market cap of over $220 billion. Please help me welcome Maya Gave. Okay, we have our CEO seated, our powerhouse is seated. I get to ask the first questions, primarily because I have the microphone. It'd be hard to hear you all the way in the back, but you will get your chance. As a reminder, again, keep your questions ready. Once we get to the dedicated Q&A section, we will try to answer them live, and if we do not, you will get the answers in due course, okay? Okay, let us begin. Would you like to say hello to the crowd so we can test your microphone, Mael and Jumoke?
Hello, everybody. It's good to be here, and thank you very much for coming.
Fantastic.
Good morning, everyone. First time in Nigeria. I'm very excited to see you all here. And I recognize a few Techstars faces in the room, and that makes me even happier.
Fantastic, fantastic. Mael is blessed. She has never experienced Nigerian traffic.
Which is
See,
true.
he's laughing so hard at the back. He's like, these people are liars. That's not a thing. That's like a unicorn. Doesn't exist. But this does exist, and billion-dollar companies do exist. Okay, first question I'd like to ask Jumoke. ARM is perceived to be a traditional asset management company. Why then would a company deemed to have its core competence in traditional wealth management be interested in running an accelerator?
So the mission of ARM is to meet the investment needs of our clients. And when we started in 1994, this was really the overarching objective. And we started as a single unit, single entity business focused on the capital market, making investments in the capital market. Today, if you look at ARM, so we have investments in infrastructure, private equity, real estate, other areas of financial services. And this has been based on this single objective that we have for our clients, meeting their investment needs. So we've grown from a single entity to a diversified business on the back of meeting the investment needs of our clients. So we're here today. A few years ago, we decided that we would embark on digital transformation because of the changing needs in the changes in the preferences of our clients and how they, interact with us, how they want to services, when they want to access financial services, where they want to access financial services. So it was important for us to, embark on digital transformation because technology was changing everything. And so when we started that journey, we soon then discovered that we weren't going to be able to do this on our own because of the rapid changes we were seeing in technology. And so we stepped back and we looked at what was happening in the fintech industry. And we saw how successful fintechs were able to develop new technology very efficiently. So we decided that, rather than do this just rely on internal innovation, it was important for us to then collaborate. Collaborate because we found that startups were more agile. They were also more efficient in innovating, very quickly. So we looked at the different options available to us and decided that the way to do this was to adopt the Accelerator model. And so in 2018, we established ARM Labs by ARM that Ina spoke about earlier. So on that journey with Labs by ARM, so I talked about how this was really about ARM, how we were trying to meet our clients' needs, what we were doing to meet our clients' needs. But when you go into a relationship, you have to bring something into that relationship. And so for us, what we brought into the relationship with the startups that we partnered with when we started is access to market, access to our network, and also building a platform where we can build capacity. Capacity for the partners that we have to build sustainability, and of course, funding. And so we were more interested in building a symbiotic relationship because, as Ina mentioned earlier, and Ethan has talked about this, very briefly, is that if you look at the global economy, really, the future, I am very convinced that the future of financial services is with fintechs. It's new technology, we can't get out of it. And therefore, because our own goal is about meeting the needs of our clients, and we see ARM being at the forefront of change, everything we have done, all the sectors that we have been in, we've gone in and we've innovated. We've been at the forefront of change. And so we see this collaboration as being very important, our ability to make change happen, to accelerate this change, and to collaborate in being part of this change happening. And so we also see that this collaboration can do two things, or is doing two things already. It's helping not only Nigeria, but across the continent. It's helping us develop our economy, contributing to economic growth. We see what's happening with the contributions the fintechs are making as a result of the solutions that fintechs have. We're depopulating the unbanked. We've reduced the unbanked population. We're providing employment, to young people. So as a result of that economic development, social development, we think that this is an important sector. So beyond what ARM can get out of it, in terms of meeting our clients' investment needs, we think that we should be part of a bigger idea of economic development, idea of social development, not only in Nigeria, but across Africa. And so last year, we decided to take this a little bit further because of those things. And we looked for a global partner that saw the things that we saw, the future that we see in fintech, and partnered with them. And that partnership today is, with Techstars is what you're seeing today. We believe that the two of us, the two entities, with your cooperation and your partnership with us, we can build a very viable ecosystem that would birth, as Ethan has said, African unicorns. Here we are today.
Excellent answer. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming today. Okay. A very impactful answer. Thank you, Jumoke. Mile, this question's for you. As a global company focused on early stage investing, why is Africa of interest versus other emerging markets? I mean, why here?
Why here? Because you're here. So look, we watch the world. Like that's literally what we do for a living all the time. We get applications from founders all around the world. Our accelerators are international. So if you go to an accelerator program in Paris or in Toronto or in Tokyo, you will find founders from all around the world, including, guess what, from Africa. And we've been active with the African continent since 2011. And what we have seen over the years is an increasing number of African founders coming and applying to our program, even though we did not have a presence, a physical presence, an accelerator in Africa. We had 2 years in South Africa, and then that was it. We were not there anymore. So we saw more and more this amazing, unstoppable African founders applying to our program. And at some point we were like, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, we should actually be on the ground with a program. And so we looked at the continent, very big continent, lots of countries, and it became very, very clear that Nigeria had a very special place. This is an incredibly vibrant ecosystem. There's a lot of technology already happening in the market. We had some very successful investment in Nigerian companies. We have at Techstars, we already have over 20 companies which are Nigerian funded, and quite a few of them have now a valuation over $100 million. So we're very happy with our Nigerian investment. We want to find more. We want to find more unicorns, and when we were looking at what would be the best place for us to start having employees here and running a program, it became very, very obvious that Lagos would be a great place to start. And then we found, you know, it's like dating. Like you start, you look at several people, and then suddenly you find the one. So we found the one, and we were very, very excited because we want to be part of an ecosystem, and for us to be able to do that, we need to find a partner. We come with our international knowledge, we come with our network, but at the end of the day, to truly understand deeply what's going on in the Nigerian ecosystem, and then more broadly in the African ecosystem, we believed that partnership with people in the know really matter. And so when we were introduced to IRM, and we realized that we have the same focus on making money for founders, for our shareholders, and for ourselves, but also focus on impact, we were like, that's it, let's get married. And so that's what we're here. We're very, very excited.
Okay. I can see the fear in his face when he talks about finding the one and getting married. It's like, is this how I got cornered into a marriage counseling session? No, I'm just here to get $120,000. I don't want to get married. You should get married, by the way. Okay, thank you so much, Myla. Please put your hands together for Myla's good answer. The next question sort of borders, it's between both of you, and maybe Jumoke, you can respond first, and Myla, you can follow. There have been debates about the low participation of females in building tech startups. What would be your message to improve the disparity between the percentage of male and female startup founders? We're not trying to start a gender war here, but we really just want to know what your thoughts are.
There's been lots of studies about female founders or female-led companies being more successful than their male counterparts under the same circumstances. And so, yes, you wonder why you don't have, enough female representation in the industry. And I think that, the way to bridge that, I think because of the differences in gender, growing up and different cultural background, there's so much, the DNA is very different, female and male. But, never mind all of that, how do you then bridge, that gap? And I see, the way I'd like to think about this is building an ecosystem for female founders. And I see several parties coming together. So on the one hand, female founders that have done very well should support female founders coming up and should act as their mentors. Secondly, I think that, VCs, when you're making investment decisions, typically you find a lot of, key decision makers making those decisions are male. I think female need to step up and do a lot more and be, at the table when those investment decisions are being made. Thirdly, I see a program like, this Accelerator program doing a lot more for female founders, preparing them. Because I think the biggest barrier where we have that shortage is, or that bridge, is because of the need to build confidence in your vision. Once that confidence in the vision is built, then it's a lot easier to then take that leapfrog. And I think that confidence built by being a part of an accelerator program. So building that ecosystem, helping them, the accelerator program, helping to prepare them and developing their vision, the female founders believing in themselves, believing in the vision that they have, and then the female founders, successful female founders community also acting as mentors for them and helping to lift other female founders up. That is what I would say would help to bridge the gap.
Good advice. Thank you very much. Mael, your thoughts?
I agree with everything she just said. I believe deeply in the power of sisterhood. I believe that women have a duty to support each other. I believe that when I was a founder myself, I built 3 companies. That's why I'm not building a 4th one. That's why I'm running one to help you. But nevertheless, I do remember being a founder. And it's hard. It's really hard to be a founder in general, no matter your gender. I can tell you that it's even harder when you're a woman. Because there's not that many doors that open, because there's a lot of unconscious or sometimes conscious bias among investors, among potential partners, among clients, among employees that you're trying to recruit. And so the sisterhood is actually really important. Women in general hesitate to ask each other for help. They hesitate to promote each other, to say to other, oh my God, this woman is amazing, so I'm going to tell you this woman is amazing. And that's what I recommend women to do. It's just like, don't hesitate to ask for help. Don't hesitate to promote other women around you, because guess what? They will give it back to you at some point or another. Indeed, come to an accelerator, because that's what accelerators are for. We talked about it before. It gives you capital, which is really important, but it also gives you a network, and no one succeeds alone. Whether you're a man or a woman, your ability to succeed is going to increase dramatically based on the network that you're going to have around you. So whether it's the RM network or the Techstars network or both network combined, that is going to make a difference. And then last but not least, what I say to women is that there's a lot of men who want to see us succeed. A lot of them, an increasing number of them, because these men have long ago realized that the world is a much better place when there is gender equality. And that, frankly, it's so much more pleasant to have dinner when there are men and women around the table. And so they are allies everywhere. And just go and talk to them. They will be there to support you. I would not be in the seat where I am today if it wasn't for the dozens of men who at one point or another became my mentors and helped me figure out like how to get to the next level. And so leverage the power of sisterhood, but don't forget the brotherhood is also there to help you.
Fantastic. Brotherhood, brethren, sisterin. That's not a word. That's not a word. Okay, so I know some of you have questions. Maybe you can just indicate now before I ask a question I've gotten online, and I can come to you. Who has the first question? Okay, then I just go to the online question. While you guys are trying to figure out what it is, and this question is for both of you, because they didn't indicate who it should go to. I guess you can both weigh in, but maybe Myla should go first. Given market volatility at the moment and uncertainty across most global economies, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs looking to start business or entrepreneurs who are in early stages of developing their businesses?
Next question. Sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
You know, one thing I've learned actually is that when there's a market downturn, there's actually an opportunity. And you need to always see the positive in every situation. And because if you don't, if you get sucked into, oh, there's a market downturn and, not a lot is happening, you just go down that dark tunnel. And I think that actually the best of us come out, in periods like that. And as Mael has said, join the Accelerator and, bring the ideas on and we'll help you to develop those ideas.
This is like a TV commercial. Just edit this part and just post it online and we're good to go. Are you ready for your questions or should I just keep attacking people? You look like you have questions. I don't know, you guys were debating something in the back. Should I ask her about this marriage counseling thing? Is it real? Okay. No, okay, I think we should take them one bit at a time so I don't lean too much for the people on the digital platform. Would you like me to pass you the microphone now? Thank you, Let me check if that's working.
Hello.
Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah.
Okay.
So, please, I'd like to know the stage of the startup.
I'm
I
so
can
sorry.
actually
Could you
apply
tell
for.
us your name?
Okay. Oh, sorry. My name is Audrey Shaw Moses. I'm the co-founder of InvestorSage. I'm here with my other co-founder of InvestorSage. All right. So I want to know the stage of the startup that can actually apply for this. Maybe development stage or because for mine it's currently in development stage, but we've had some success. We partner with Microsoft Startup Hub, and we've actually been doing it without any digital platform. We've done one-on-one in-person transaction with the ecosystem that we're trying to help, which is the MSME sector. So I want to know the stage. So we are just trying to move higher, have a digital platform for the solution to make it more sustainable. So thank you.
Okay, so would you guys like to take that, or do you want the director for digital transformation to answer that question? That's right. He's
So it's early stage companies.
You should come here so that they can see
Yeah.
you.
So it's early stage companies, and if you're a pre-seed stage company as well, you're eligible. I know you are in that category, so you're eligible to apply. So you can just go right ahead and click on the apply link. Yeah. I know that because he's.
I think in general, if you're asking yourself whether you're eligible, this is a good enough reason for you to come and talk to us. We're going to announce very soon the managing director who's going to be running that program. That person will be very visible. And my recommendation would be in general, come and talk to us and we'll guide you. We're very, both ARM and Techstars, we're very, very human-centric. We believe in the power of connection. That is the reason why I'm here. It's because there's nothing better than actually being in person. We have in the room a few people from Techstars who will be more than happy. Please raise your hand, the Techstars people. Here we go. We also have in the room a few Techstars alumni. Raise your hands. Here we go. Look at that. And so go and talk to them. Go and talk to them. They'll tell you about their experience. They'll tell you the type of founders that we recruit or the type of founders that they saw in their class. And that will give you a sense of is it even for you? Is it something that you're excited about? Because this is a boot camp that is the most intense 3 months of your life you're ever going to have. And so you got to be all in. And they probably took some holidays before joining us today after the program because it's very tired. But just talk. It's all about human connection.
Fantastic. Yes, he has. Someone has a question over here, and then we'll just circle back to you. And don't forget to tell us your name, sir.
Hi. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tunde Balogun. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Small Small Technology, popularly known as Rent Small Small. But we just rebranded, so we have a parent brand now, which is Small Small Technology. It's good to see you again, Maya. We were both in Canada just last month, yeah. And pleasure to meet you, Jumoke. My question is, so I've known ARM for a number of years now. I run a prop tech company, property technology company, and I know that you're heavy in real estate. You have your subsidiary, which is Mr. Nigeria, right? And for a number of years now, maybe around 2-3 years, we've been trying to work with Mixter. When Kolashu was the MD, he tried to give us as much support, but there's always that audio. at some point with the system, But now Kola himself runs his own company. He's out of Mixta, and we are good partners now, strong partners. We are doing great things together. But it could have been Mixta, doing this with us, because Mixta is heavy in real estate. Mm-hmm. So my question is, how do we, now that there's Techstars, we are a star company with Techstars, just like all Techstars companies are stars. That's why you have Techstars at the, the stars at the end, right? Yes. And with where we're going and how fast we've grown in the last 3 years, we're set to become a unicorn in the next 1 year or two. Great. Still speaking about the unicorn. What kind of support can we get from the new Techstars ARM collaboration that can help us advance with what we are doing, and especially knowing that you're heavy in real estate management, asset management as well? So that's my question.
It's a very good question. One of the things that in developing, coming together, this marriage, one of the conditions of the marriage, or one of the things that we wanted out of this marriage, is integration. When I was talking about meeting the investment needs of our clients earlier, I talked about it from the client point of view. But one of the things that we really would like to do with the industry is to bring that innovation in, to bring that your products into our system and to integrate with ours. And this has been at the forefront. Our first conversation with Techstars was, how do we integrate? Because you're right, I think one of the problems that traditional companies have, there are too many layers and too many, unlike fintechs where it's very quick to make decisions, you're more nimble. And so what we said is, we would like to integrate, we'd like to be able to do this better. And so for us, aside from supporting the industry, making unicorns out of this relationship, one of the key success factors for us would be that integration. How well are we able to work with you to build a bigger entity for ourselves and for you? So that is one of the things that Techstars is going to be helping us with. And I look forward to coming back again and revisiting and reopening our discussion. And this time we'll have to get it right. So, so thank you.
Fantastic. Are we going to the gentleman I think he had another question.
So, okay, I think I should share more details about what we are working on. So, Investor Sage is a fintech company. I know, like, when they mention fintech in Nigeria, everybody just say payment system. We are not actually doing payment system. No, now. So, what we are actually working on is investment in MSME sectors, not the, startup in MSME sector, because International Finance Corporation, IFC, said, there is 5.2 trillion financial gap in the sector. That's been like that over the years, and World Bank has actually tried to fund the sectors, but I think there is a particular a gap missing there, which is education. They give people money without educating them. They have nothing. It's not like giving us money without any guidance or anything. Of course, I think World Bank counted that one of the person they gave the person money to use for the company, and the person just went ahead and I think got married or something with the money for MSME. So that happened a lot. So we're actually looking into the sector and actually bringing in education with the finance. And now we are not just financing the company from our own pocket. We're actually opening, democratizing investment opportunity to general public. Of course, we know Nigerians, we have more of low income earners, people that really need to invest in things with low amount of money, let's say $50. So we're actually creating a platform to help democratize that, build that. We've actually been doing it in person. A friend of mine came to me after he graduated from school. I think he's running Pega business. Yeah. So at that time, he was thinking of expanding the business, so he didn't have enough funds for that. So he came to me. So I was able to reach out to a couple of my friends to they gathered money, the total amount of money that the guy needed to create a new a new kiosk and start on the business. And he was able to pay back the money in a period of 6 months. So we are planning to calculate the return on investment and all those things based on the actual prospect of the company, not just okay, I want to borrow a loan for my startup. Okay, this is how much you are going to repay, without calculating whether the person can afford it or not. Sorry. So we're actually planning like to do that. So that's what it's all about. So my question is, at the end of the deadline, which is I think on the 24th of August, they said they'll be picking 12 startups. What are the requirements like for that? Yeah. All right. So
he wants the answers.
He's a really smart man.
Yeah, very smart man.
Just went around to try to,
And I would like to notice the two founders that we've just talked are applying. Are applying the first principle of founders, which is always be pitching. Just like explain your business no matter what, so that people remember you, and then just drop a question at the end that may or may not be related to what you were talking about, but at least be pitching. But joke apart, this is actually really important. I'm going to answer your question, but I think if you're a founder, I think there's always this anxiety among many founders that if I speak too much about my idea, someone is going to steal it. And the reality is 90% of your success has nothing to do with the idea, it has to do with the work that you're going to put to make it a reality. And you have more chance of making that idea a reality if you get people reacting to it and just giving you feedback, sharing their experience. And so please do what you've just seen two founders do, which is pitch your idea all the time, because you never know where the next useful advice is going to come from. It may even come sometimes from the taxi driver you're sitting in, who, like, because he or she have a completely different understanding of what you're talking about, they start making connection that you never thought about it, and they take you to a completely different level. Sorry, long side comment. This is so important because like it's all about this. So in terms of criteria, it starts with the team. Like again, this is why I was saying this is a people business. We sit down with you, we talk to you, we understand your background, we understand what drives you to spend a significant amount of your life on this particular idea. We talk to you about the market, and is the market big enough? Because frankly, unicorns do not exist in tiny markets, so we need to understand how big is the market. We talk to you about what makes it different. Why your solution you believe is different than anything else that has been in the market. What is your key competitive advantage, even if that's like the idea level. And then we talk a lot with you about how you're thinking about developing your business. And we spend time basically figuring out whether we actually think that one, it's likely to happen, and two, which is equally important for us, can we actually help you? Because to be very blunt, we're not cheap for the founder either. So yes, we'll give you capital, but again, like the alumni will tell you that we take a piece of your capital. And you need to be very, very comfortable with that, with what is fundamentally a commercial agreement. Do you feel like you're getting from us as much as we feel we're going to get from you? And so spending that time to figure out, can we actually really help you? Are we actually going to make a difference in your company? Is as important for us as it is for you, because we want our founders to be happy, and we want to make sure that at the end of the program you're like, yeah, that was life-changing. Like I am such a better founder, I have such a better company for that. So that's at a very, very high level what we look at.
Amazing. Wait, please go ahead.
The room is on fire now.
Okay, sure. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Kelechi Wakacha, CEO of Bungalow. We build mortgage infrastructure for banks. We recently shifted our business model. So I had a question for you. So I speak to a lot of founders, been in the ecosystem since 2014, started at Iroko TV with Jason, and went on to VC. And I often help founders raise money. And one of the major issues in the fintech space is venture debt. ARM is in a unique position because it has access to capital markets. You guys are able to raise debt for cheaper. And what's happening in the market now is that if I approach a commercial bank for debt, they want me to match that one for one to start the relationship. And it can be quite frustrating. A lot of founders are struggling raising venture debt. Equity is nice, but for a lot of fintechs, they need venture debt. I can literally give you a list of companies that are in a queue waiting for venture debt right now. Are there plans to expand your venture offerings beyond just the partnership you have with Techstars?
Yes, certainly. It's an area that we have been looking at, and you're right. I think that is really missing, not only in Nigeria, even across Africa, because I think there are only maybe 2 venture debts in Africa, debt funds in Africa. And so it's an area that we're paying a lot of attention to. We're doing a lot of research on. And I'm hoping that, to complement what we're doing on the equity side, we would eventually come up with something. Because as I said earlier, it's really about seeing how we can develop the industry. And developing the industry, you can't do that just using equity alone. So you need capital, the right kind of capital, whether it's debt or equity, and also building that capacity. And so the missing link that we haven't, the missing piece is the debt piece, which we're still looking at. And yes, it's an area of interest for us. And when we do get there, you'll know.
Okay, great. Sorry, there's one more question over here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sadiq Tijani. I'm the co-founder of Toju. So at Toju, we are digitizing the banks of the underbanked. For a lot of fintechs, there is this belief that the so-called underbanked are really underbanked. For us, we think differently. We believe that they use some sort of banking. I bet they're very, very informal. For local players, people that grow up here, they're locally called Ajo, Isusu, and all of that. So you find this in almost all sectors, markets, even down to companies. My wife, she's learned. She has a 9-to-5, and she uses them, actually. So these guys take cash, deposit, loans, withdrawals. Normal like normal banks. Only that these guys do it offline, no digital records, just analog. So what we are doing is just digitize the process instead of spending billions of dollars like some of the people do to change these patterns. We are just going in using the same pattern and just giving them technology and access to finance. So my question is, when we talk about the African market, most of what we refer to is Anglophone Africa, right? And there's this huge disconnect between Anglophone Africa and then Francophone Africa. So what is Techstars doing, or what can they help do? Because while the biggest markets is in Anglophone Africa, to be honest, Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, etc., we think that some of our solutions can be best tailored to Francophone Africa as well. And we have Francophone Africa around Nigeria, right? Togo's, the Benin. So these are easier markets, even in terms of communication and going there to see what is wrong. But there's this, aside from the currency, regulatory and the language barrier. So how can Techstars and ARM help funders looking into such collaborations? Thank you.
Good.
Bonjour, déjà on peut commencer à parler français.
I don't speak French. That's one of the issues, actually.
So here we go. Okay. All right. So you may or may not know, but I'm actually French. I live in New York, but I was born in France, and so yeah, of course we need to do something for Francophone Africa. I would start by saying we do have a lot of mentors and some alumni from Francophone Africa. And so a lot of what Techstars does is basically helping you get in touch with these people so that they can explain in return, like, how does it work? Like, what has made them successful? Who are the people that you need to know over there? They can make the introduction. A lot of what we're doing is through the network. The second piece has usually to do with your managing director and or people that your managing director knows at Techstars that can help you specifically with the problem that you're trying to solve or the challenge you're trying to solve. We would have to go into a lot more detail to understand, like, what exactly do you mean when you say, like, help me get into Francophone Africa. But your managing director and the team that they have next to them, working with them, will be the one who will be working with you through the go-to-market strategy, through the financing that is required for that, through potentially the legal hurdle that are required. In a lot of cases, we are lucky to have partners who understand extremely well, not just the market that we are in, but the surrounding markets. And that's my way to elegantly pass it over on the other side. The partners play a key role also in helping understanding the local ecosystem.
The interest for us is Africa. It's not only Nigeria, because we see opportunities across the continent. And actually today, ARM is not only the group, it's not only in Nigeria. So we have businesses, specifically our real estate business is in Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Tunisia, Morocco. So we are actually in some markets in Africa. So we're interested in that. And as Mael has said, it really depends on when you say you want access to the market, what sort of access are you looking for? And so we can look at that, discuss the specifics, and see how we can support you. But clearly for us, the vision of ARM is an Africa vision that we have. And we have already started rolling that out, and we intend to do a lot more. And this is one of such. So certainly we can talk about specific needs that you have, as Mael has said.
Okay, room is definitely on fire now. We are fast approaching the end of the time we've set for this. I will take your questions, well, as much as I can. There's one question online right now that I think relates to what you're talking about, support. It's a two-part question. The first part says, I have a PowerPoint and a dream, can I apply? He wants a short answer.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. And the second part, it's a well-researched PowerPoint, that's so he puts it. Statista, whatever. Then the second part says, given the nature of where he resides, which is Nigeria right now, and knowing the economic challenges around infrastructure, which is internet and power, how does the program hope to support startups like Precedes, like with his PowerPoint and a dream?
So the Techstars program that commences December 5th, if my memory serves me right, is sourcing for a location where all of the 12 startups will be co-located. And I can guarantee you that all of the criteria that has been used to select that location don't have any of these infrastructure problems that you're talking about. So if you get accepted into the program, you would certainly be co-located in a location that has fantastic internet, very good working conditions, access, proximity to other startups that you can collaborate with, and of course, access to ARM as well. So there would be a location for the Techstars program once it commences in December.
Thank you, Ina. Okay, so before he gets shoulder pains, could you just give him the microphone? His hands he's been working out for a while.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samuel. Oh, all right. Yeah, my name is Samuel. I'm the founder and CEO of OurPass, and OurPass is building Africa's fastest one-click checkout for commerce. So not just for e-commerce, but rather for commerce. Right. So one interesting thing about OurPass today is the fact that OurPass understands ARM on its own. And OurPass also understands Techstars on the other end. And why is it that way? It's actually because we're part of the ARM Labs program early last year, as well as Bungalows, right? And today, OurPass and Bungalow has also participated in the Techstars Accelerator program from, like, they're in Toronto, Techstars Toronto, right? So it means, for me, I have like an in-depth understanding of how ARM works and also how Techstars works. So I'll take it up from Techstars and come down to ARM. I have a very deep question to ask ARM, honestly. Right. So having participated in the Techstars Toronto Accelerator program, I will tell you that I have, as a founder, I've never worked with someone as fast, helpful, supportive as the MD of Techstars, Sunil Sharma. Yeah. I don't know how he does it, right? But as busy as he is, he's 24/7 on WhatsApp. Like, hey, Sunil, I need an intro to ABC, right? Even if he doesn't know that person, he will tell you straight up there. He'll say, hey, I don't know this person, but I know someone that knows this person. He'll make an intro to the person. Like on the email, you will see him stating that, hey, I don't know that person, but I know you know that person. Samuel is copied here. Can you help do ABC, right? And things will get moving. But now the truth is, Sunil can only do things that can help businesses in Africa or Nigeria, maybe in accessing capital or giving access to investors and all, right? But the need for like local support is very important in growing a business. Now, we've all been saying a whole lot about $120,000 and all. Fact is, $120,000 can be blown under 24 hours. Honestly.
Taught you better.
Yeah, because even when you look at talents are becoming really expensive, like really, really expensive. So for some businesses, under 24 hours. For some, maybe for 1 year, right? But I'm sure for our parts, definitely not up to 3 months, right? So I want to ask, the good thing is Jumoke is here. So I'll be throwing my question forward. Like, I know Ina already, yeah? We participated in the ARM program early last year prior to joining Texas Toronto Accelerator program. I want to know what your thoughts are for after Accelerator or support. What the plan is like. Now you bring in mentors. Even if you have 1,000 mentors or 3,000 mentors, and let's say what they do is they're just like angel investors or they're angels, they just want to invest. I don't still think that is supportive in a way or helpful to businesses. I think there needs to be a change, right, in that process or model. Maybe you go after, ARM goes after like founders, because for me, I feel founders support founders better, right? It could be like a founder who has built a business and is no longer sitting there as a CEO, right? So take, for instance, a company that does something related to, let's say, fintech plus commerce, right? And you need to maybe work with or partner with businesses in the e-commerce space, right? Does ARM have mentors like maybe someone like Marcy, CEO of Jumia, people like that can help businesses? Because if you give startups money, honestly, that money cannot do anything. I'm just being very frank. We would eat, we would dress well, we'll pay our employees well, like they'll be fine, right? We'll rent a good office, like really design the place. We would move to an extent, but we would stop. Those companies will stop. They wouldn't move. Honestly, like they would not move further than that. So I think a lot of work needs to go into, like right now that we're now having ARM Labs, Lagos, Texas Accelerator, and Ina had just mentioned that I think the new guys who move into like the next cohort, probably next month, will co-working in the space and all. I think far from that. For me, I think based on my experience with ARM, I remember it's not far, just last year, early last year, and Texas, I think there needs to be a change as to how that will work. Because if that change happens, now I'm speaking for Techstars because I'm an alumni of Techstars, right? Y Combinator has built like a cult-like group. The alumni help each other. A lot of businesses that you see today, you're wondering like, what are they doing? The next thing you see in the next 6 months, they're doing way better because people within that circle have like helped them to move from A to B. So for that thing to happen here in Nigeria or in Africa, I think it must be looked into. Now, I don't know, I'm just seeing Ina. I'm just seeing you for the first time, right? So I think there needs to be like after support or conversations or meetups to build that community. Otherwise, you burn money. You keep burning money, it won't move, frankly. Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to add on to what he's saying because, yeah, we can speak like high level, but I like to be very like detailed about like, let me just add a little bit more detail to what he's saying. So after the program, the support we received, what I would envision, having done the program as well, is that the portfolio management team is split into maybe like, into like 5 spaces. There's the strategic partnership aspect of it, venture debt, follow-on an investment team. There's the regulatory team. Then there's like the mentors team. I think if you split the portfolio management team into those core focuses, there could be a lot of value add. That's sort of how I would do it if I was running it. So I just wanted to add on to that.
Very good advice, very good question. It's interesting that you bring this up because, you know, after the last program, so, you know, when Ina was speaking earlier, he talked about other programs that we have. Data. everything. And because we need to create a platform where we can have the regulator in the room and the fintech industry in the same room, and with us all three parties communicating and trying to understand each other and coming up with regulation that would help the industry to thrive. So those two things, those two major things that we're doing now, creating that alumni that we can support each other, also working with the regulator to ensure that regulation does not harm the business after we have made all the investment and built capacity. But the third thing that I would say that we're also looking at is our ability to, so you have the mentorship program, which you talked about. You have the alumni, you have regulation. But ARM itself, I mentioned earlier that we have a market. ARM itself has its own network. We've been around for 28 years. We have relationships. What we would like to do a lot more of is open those relationships to the businesses that we support, so that you have a ready market or you have a network. And what we've said is that after a few years, we want to actually start measuring this. What is the impact? How are we making an impact in the industry post-investment? Because once we go through a program like this, your success is our success. How well you do is a measure of how well we're doing. So we need to pay more attention. So we've done that post-mortem. These are the things that we're putting in place today, and you begin to see the results of that. And I'm sure very soon someone will be reaching out to you how we build this community, and also how we can support you better, in ensuring that you have access to our own market and you have access to each other, and I'm hoping that will make a difference.
Fantastic. Okay, I know I could see you. I'm so sorry. Don't wait for me at the car park saying I didn't let you ask my question. I am very averse to violence. I'm not a fighter. Just to be clear, right? Like I said earlier, all questions will be answered. Even here, they're not going to run away. They're powerhouses. They have energy. There's food outside. There's tea. There's coffee. You guys need to hang around. Ask all the questions you couldn't ask over the microphone if it's too personal. If we kicked you out of a particular program at some point, you have a grouse. No, it's a chat. Feel free to ask us whatever you want. That's what this session is for. For questions we have online, we will answer them all and we'll send them back again to your registered email addresses. We will take the last question now from Madame over there. Who has the microphone, please? Right. You can ask your question right after her. So it's been a very testosterone-filled event. Let's just get some estrogen flowing. So if you could keep it brief. I know there's a pitch before the question, so just skip the pitch. Get to the question.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Billy Rukayat, and people call me Madam Grassroots because of the love I have for the micro businesses. So I'm a co-founder and CEO of Register, REGXTA, so you can check out. So Register, we are building the first digital app focusing on the 600 million underserved in Africa. I have two questions, and I'm going to keep it short. So number one is we were selected, we are part of the top 5 that was selected by ARM Accelerator program, and we are very much delighted, for the opportunity. And we just applied for the Techstars last week. So we don't know if it's going to be, thank you. We don't know if it's going to be like an advantage or it's going to be like, oh, because you've been selected, you're not going to, proceed further. That's the first question. Then the second question, as a female founder, I've encountered a lot of challenges, comparing me with my male co-founder. So there was a time we met with a billionaire in Lekki last year, and after listening to my pitch, because of the energy and because of the passion, the person said, oh, I like you as a person. I love the fact that you are passionate about the business you're doing, but it will be very important you go to the market because you can dialogue with the market women very well. I was so devastated, I'm telling you. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what this man is seeing. Is it that because I'm a woman, I can talk to market to women, or is it because I'm Madam Grassroots? So I don't know. What do you think I can do to actually improve myself? Because I want to be better than Afis in all ramification, honestly speaking. So if there is any other thing you think I can do, excuse me, I'm talking. So, so let me know.
Let me start with the second question. I think if there's anything you can do, you're actually on the right path. So you're already part of the ARM Labs Innovation Program, so it's no longer an accelerator. And that links to the second question, but I'll come to that in a minute. But I think if you're able to get into the Techstars program, that changes the conversation you're going to be having with any investor. Because Techstars has a playbook that is tested and trusted. And so when you say, I am an alumni of Techstars, it puts you in a very different position from a position of strength when you're speaking to a potential investor. So pray that you make it into Techstars, and which brings me to the first question. The Techstars program has a standard that they use to select who makes it into the cohort. Whether you're part of the ARM Labs program doesn't give you an advantage from that perspective, but because the ARM Labs program is a venture building program, so we incubate you to prepare you for acceleration, we do hope that whatever you've learned during the ARM program perhaps may help you when Techstars is evaluating and you're doing your pitch to the person, the MD who's going to be interviewing you. But the MD is not going to select you because you have passed through the ARM Labs program. Hopefully, what you've learned from the ARM Labs program would help you convince the MD that you should be one of the 12. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, we're going to break this rule. No, that's not you. I'm so sorry. Back to that man over there. He looks stronger than you. He's more likely to hurt me than you are. So please ask your question very quickly. Keep it short. The pitch needs to be super short, like Madam Grassroot over there.
I'm definitely not pitching. I'm going to be the odd one here. My name is Samuel. I'm from Nairametrics. So from a media perspective, I cover a lot around fintech, startups in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. And we see them raising a lot of fundings over time. But more or less this question has been somewhat asked earlier, but I still need to have a direct answer to it. What will this association now be doing to help ensure that some of these firms who raise funding actually do something? Because a lot of times when I see some names, I see them raise seed funding, raise venture funding, raise different things, and I don't know exactly what they are doing. They're just non-existent. They probably have office somewhere on the island, and we don't know what they are doing. So I think this Techstars and ARM, what do they have on ground to ensure that these firms do actually make impact in the economy? Because we actually do need them to drive the Nigerian and African economy upward. That's one. Two, a lot of startups, fintechs, firm, Nigeria, Africa, I don't know, we've seen a lot of news around some of them have their funding been seized because of one thing or another. What would this association, again, be doing to ensure that every startup that passes through them have good corporate governance? That's two. The third one, please, sorry.
Okay.
Don't skin me
Okay,
alive.
go ahead.
Yeah, the third one, you said something earlier, and that's really a question I wanted to ask, because fintechs in Nigeria do not really have the opportunity. A lot of firms or businesses are being strangled due to regulations, either from the executive arm or from regulators, maybe the SEC or the CBN. And fintechs have a lot of problems in this area, especially when they have to do something around exchange rate. CBN would really come for their neck. And I feel I want to know the steps that you are taking to ensure that there's a round table, because the round table is quite important, where you have an association, a coming together of all fintechs or startups or SMEs anyways, any name we call them, the regulator, and probably some form of executive, maybe a representative from the state government or something somewhat. There needs to be an association whereby regulations do not really stifle the development or growth of these startups, because at the end of the day, they actually account for most part of the economy. Thank you.
Wow, that was a mouthful. Who wants to go first?
Tiny question. All right, so let me try to wrap it up as succinctly as I can. We are an investment business. RM is also very good with money. We invest in companies that we believe are actually going to be a real company. We're helping them be a real company. We're expecting them to become unicorns and actually, have employees and in general impact. And so like part of the whole process from the selection to the accelerator to what's coming after is to make sure that what you describe, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but what you describe about like company getting money and disappearing, yeah, that doesn't happen. And by the way, again, like you see a bunch of alumni here, as far as I know, they haven't yet disappeared. They seem to be working on their business, so that's all good. So that one first thing. Second thing, local impact, whether it's Nigeria impact or African impact. Techstars praises itself in being a global network with local impact. There's a reason why we do not have one massive cohort every year, but we have 50, 60 classes all around the world. These are small classes of 10 to 15 companies. They are international classes, so like a lot of the alumni here, they went to a Toronto accelerator, to a New York accelerator, to a Paris accelerator. But as you can see, they're back. They're back here, and a lot of them do care a lot about the impact that they have on the country where they're coming from. And so we do see a lot of that among Techstars companies, which is they go to an international accelerator to benefit from the international coverage, but then they come back into their home country. And then because that's part of the reason why we're opening an accelerator here, is because we believe that we can, at our level, contribute to the ecosystem here, and just bring what we have to what is already existing and helping the Nigerian economy and helping the African continent further. A lot is going to depend on how we select the founder and how we help them, because at the end of the day, they're the one who are going to do the work. But the intention is very, very clearly to invest in the next generation of African unicorns, aka African founders who are going to have an impact there. And then on the regulator piece, there is a reason why we were looking for a partner. Like, we are not experts at Techstars at the regulation in Nigeria. But having a partner at our side who understands extremely well how it works here, who are the people who make the decision how to go there, was a key part of that marriage that we're celebrating today.
So for ARM, we just don't make investments and walk away. So we have a program that provides continuous support to all the companies we invest in, continuous support. So I cannot imagine that a company will disappear or walk away after we make the investment, because that engagement continues. So I'm trying to relate to what you're saying. It hasn't happened, and I don't expect it to happen because of the way we're structured. Now, on regulation, I think that there needs to be understanding. So on the regulator side, what it's trying to do is protect the market, protect investors, protect consumers, protect the economy. On the fintech side, it's trying to develop the market and give consumers of financial products what they need. And I don't think that those objectives are mutually exclusive. I think what it needs is, two parties to come into the same room and find common language and address that. And, we see ourselves as that, I don't want to say mediator, but that party that can bring the two parties into the same room and, try and reach an agreement. There is no doubt, even the regulators understand that the future of financial services is going to be hinged on what's happening in the fintech industry. Everybody understands that. There's that willingness also on the side of the regulator to collaborate with the fintech industry. And so we think that what ARM is going to do will make that difference. As I said earlier, we don't want to make investments and create a market that can then disappear overnight. So it's important that we nurture that relationship. Not only bring them to the table at just once, but it's a nurturing. It's a new idea, for regulators and even for us. And so everybody needs to, embrace it and then live it. And so that's the plan for us. That's what we intend to do.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. I know you have more questions. Like I said, we will still be here. You can reach out. Anna's here. Most of the ARM team will be here to take your questions. For those of us online, please keep sending in your questions. We will answer them post-webinar and send them back to you accordingly. I want to thank everyone who's been here today, the founders, the startups, the ARM Labs team, and the directors, Wale Odutola, Anna, the deputy CEO, and most especially our speakers, the powerhouses. Mael and Yvette, please put your hands together for them. They've gone through, oh, right, fist bump, fist bump. I heard the explosion in the middle. So I would like to call up the MD for ARM Academy, who's also a director for ARM Labs, Uche Azubike, to give us the vote of thanks. Come on, help her to the stage. Put your hands together. That's it, that's it.
She should take my seat so that she can.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
I'm so sorry. Sorry. I wanted to give you the center.
No, it's okay. I'll stand. Oh, wow. You must all agree with me that it's been a very, very exciting morning. And it's so good to see companies from Techstars and from ARM Labs. Very, very reassuring. And it just makes you, further confirms what we're saying today. This marriage of the powerhouses is a marriage made in heaven, So we say a very big thank you to all of you for being here, because you're all stakeholders in this. The companies, both online and physically here, our partners, the media. It's for us, knowing that you're here with us, just shows us that the time is now. It is now. We cannot afford to slip back. So we ask you to come on that journey with us as we build the next set of unicorns in Africa. Thank you so much for being here.
It's very well put. Again, thank you all. Please feel free to ruminate, get something to eat. You can still speak. We're gonna terminate the online chat because we did promise a certain timeline. People, I know you have other stuff to do. We thank you very much for joining us, taking time out of your schedule. God bless you all. Please feel free to hang out and speak to each other. We do have people who still want to talk. If you want to stay in this format and listen to some more questions and have comments, please share them now. Sir, you have something to say?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Sir, please introduce yourself and then...
Yeah, my name is Ehizo Abumeri. I'm from Zogia Associates. We actually primarily deal with startups, venture capital, and private equities businesses. So my question is, from our little research for startups, small and medium businesses, what I've found out is that there's really like a disconnect between businesses. As you mentioned, a lot of startups are giving funds and they're not visible in the market. A lot of that it's because of the lack of infrastructure in Nigeria. So I believe that with this startup that you're doing, what is very paramount, apart from just funding, is to build a sustainable ecosystem. You find out that a lot of startups are working in silos because of the lack of infrastructure. And there's a disconnect between synergies with everyone. Nobody wants to partner. And you find out that half of the problem is actually solved by bringing like-minded people together, whether it's the fintech guy, the person that is doing the retail online business, and the person doing commodities or whatever. They are all interlinked in one way or the other. But because there is no information or there is no synergies, a lot of these people don't know, they're working in silos. So a lot of information is not shared. So I believe that one of the first things this tech startup should actually concentrate on is how to build that ecosystem with like-minded people that have value propositions, or do a value audit for them to connect. Lastly, I also observed that I was telling a friend that even if Amazon comes to Nigeria, they're still going to face the same traffic situation. They will have good inventory management system, all right, to deliver. Yes, all the information, they will get it out of the warehouse, but to go and deliver, they will still take the same time a Jumia is taking. Except they have a means of flying across to Lekki Expressway or whatever. It's still the same traffic. So, yes, we keep on, in Africa, we keep on jump-starting this whole fourth industrial revolution and going with all the buzzwords and all that, but we forget that there is a disconnect between offline and online. So which is where the regulators come in and the public sector comes in. we need to find a way of, yes, we've come up with this innovative idea, but this, how do we now work with the people in charge of the public sector so that they can be, people can actually fill in that gap in terms of providing that infrastructure to enable the technology be more effective and more efficient. If not, you will just have beautiful, bright ideas, but at the end of the day, when the realization of actually implementing those ideas is what, starts, how do I really get to Mr. B? Then that's when these tech guys really leave the technology side and start working like as if it's an offline business. So that's just my
Please keep an eye on Jane.
Oh, that's all right.
Uncle Paul, look! I want to be a pilot when I